Hello and welcome to the Video Game AV Club, our spinoff where we talk about video game TV shows and movies, adaptations and all that, like our novelizations and all that.
Yes.
I don't know what to call it.
It's the films and the TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
The AV Club.
Mm-hmm.
And we're back with The Last of Us, Season 2, Episode 1.
Because it's Max and it releases episodically.
Mm-hmm.
I was really worried going in and I was like, uh-oh, I have to finish The Last of Us Part 2 before the show comes out. And then I realized...
You didn't at all.
I didn't at all because I think I'm close to the end at this point, but
No, you're not.
that's not true. There's no way. There's no
I saw
way
where Sammy was playing before
There's
I
no
watched
way.
it.
She's lying. She's fronting. She doesn't remember.
It's been several years. I only played it when it came out, so... So Episode 1 is called Future Days.
Okay.
Do we want to do a previously on The Last of Us?
No. You know what happened.
People ate some pancake mix with some fungus in it, and the world went
The
to
world
shit.
died.
Joel was a smuggler. He used to have a
Mhm.
daughter. Then he met Ellie, who's immune, and take her to the Fireflies.
And then pretended that she was his daughter for like a long time as
Yeah,
he
they
smuggled
bond.
her
They
into...
bonded.
The Fireflies wanted the cure and Ellie was immune, so then they decided to take Ellie in to get the cure, but apparently that would kill her, so Joel went berserk and killed all the Fireflies.
Yeah, all the medical professionals who were gonna operate on her.
And now they're at a place in Wyoming that's run by Joel's brother.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're at.
Tommy and his wife.
Tommy's
There's a
wife.
council too, so. But the previously on The Last of Us is important because the opening scene of Episode 2, Season 2, Episode 1, flip it and reverse it, is opens with Abby.
Yeah, it opens with them trying to explain Abby, but doing a really poor job of
It
it.
was not great.
It was like Abby and her crew of,
Yeah.
you know them.
You know them. But we start with giraffes, which is reminiscent of the
Remember
game.
the giraffe scene?
I guess they spent a lot of money on those giraffes.
They
had to
reference that
bring them
giraffe
back.
scene like a lot.
Yeah, it was the one time she was happy.
Uh-huh.
And they're standing in front of a bunch of graves. I totally forgot that they were fireflies.
You
by the
did?
way. Yeah, because in the second
They
game,
talk about it all
they're
the
in the
time.
stadium. And
Because of what happened with the Joel and Ellie situation, the Fireflies ended up disbanded.
they weren't really good to begin with.
I mean, no rebel group is.
No.
So they joined another rebel group. A lot of the Fireflies like went off and joined
Yeah, there's
other
all these
rebel
different
groups.
factions.
So they instead joined, I guess this doesn't happen in the first episode, but
No.
eventually they'll join a rebel group in Seattle known as the Wolves.
No.
And that's where we'll see them mainly. But
And
they
they-
were Fireflies.
They do mention it, the Abby's boyfriend, his name is
Owen.
inconsequential, is like, oh, there's this group in Seattle and they have resources and they can help us.
Yeah,
Like,
so they're like at the grave of everybody who died at the hospital
Mhm.
during the incident.
they're the only ones left.
They're the only ones left. The young kids of
Mhm.
all of these medical professionals is what it seems like. And Abby is like, I'm gonna seek my revenge and I'm gonna do it slowly, just so you know.
Yeah, she's like, well, a lot of people cry this episode. I think it's supposed to be mirrored. So it's the writer, Craig Matzin is also the director for this one. And if you're watching it on Max, I'm not pirating it, but they have a little behind the scenes stuff and they talk to him a lot.
I'm sure they
but-
pirate the behind the scenes too.
There's a lot of writers on this one though. I mean,
That's surprising.
there's 3. So there's Neil Druckmann, Craig Mazin, and Haley Wiegren Gross, which usually it's just the 2 of them. So it looks like they're expanding.
So yeah, it starts out with that really piss poor
Which
explanation of Abby.
If you did not play the game and you wouldn't know why they're there, who these people are, why Abby is so upset. Because
Especially
they don't explain that it's her dad.
if you jumped in,
Mhm.
like if you only watched the show and then you were like, I'm gonna jump in after season 1, after a while, because it's been like what, 2 years, a year.
Yeah.
You're not gonna know. You're not gonna remember.
No.
Where was the previously on?
We saw it.
Oh
saw
well, it was
previously.
bad then because I.
But it was just a flash of
Mhm.
like the hospital. He shoots people, and then you see a giraffe.
Well, it was
But-
crazy that they didn't do, because in the game, like Abby has flashbacks to that
When she was
sequence
younger,
a lot when in her dreams, and they do a flashback sequence of Ellie's early on in this one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm surprised they didn't do more flashback scenes. They just didn't like front load a lot of them.
Yeah. They're expecting that already know what's happening.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
It was not done because I think the first season they did so much front loading in the first episode of the fungus is all connected, and then it got in the supply chain, and don't buy pancake mix, and they did it so that everyone could watch it, but it really feels like season 2 is
like you have
people
better
who have played.
rewatch the first season before.
But even if you watched it the first, because they don't mention that it's her dad.
They don't. They
and
don't.
It's
but
like
they
she's
don't,
super upset, and everyone else is
but
like,
they don't
sort of
mention
upset.
that it was her dad. Like actually, for quite a while.
No.
Because I knew that ahead of time, I already knew. But like, I think if you went into The Last of Us Part 2 like raw, you would have no idea why she was seeking revenge. Because even Ellie at some point is like, that's why the Fireflies disbanded. It's because of me. Because it says don't hurt anyone else's me. But it's like that's not why she's there, and she doesn't understand why she's there. It's hard to explain.
Yeah,
I think they tried, but to keep it vague. But I don't think they should have kept it vague.
Yeah.
Because you have to let people know up front, why is this Chica seeking revenge?
That, or don't even show that first scene with her at the graves. Show later on when they have arrived at the camp. And that you don't know what they're there for.
But I think they wanted to... So they show up at the beginning and the end of this episode. So it would be like... But did they say the name Joel? I think they do.
She does.
Because she's like, I heard he was handsome. And I was like, that's weird. Cringe and weird. Why? Who wrote that? Neil?
Yeah.
Is that you?
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
That was really odd.
I don't like that.
That felt uncomfortable too. Because it's like the person that murdered her dad. And you're like, he's handsome.
I heard he was handsome.
Gross. Maybe trying to give a shout out to Pedro Pascal.
Shout out.
Internet's daddy.
So they didn't change Ellie, even though she has technically grown by like 5 years.
Yeah, so after we see Abby, it says we get what are those
title cards
that say it says 5 years later. And Ellie's getting the shit kicked out of her.
Yeah, she's just doing like training with some random guy, and then our boy, I forget his name. I feel really bad. He's kind of important, I guess.
He is important, but he's like the stupid guy that said the slurs before him. Jesse.
Then Jesse comes in and is like, oh, we told him to take it lightly on you. And
yeah, because she got punched in the face, and then the guy tapped out, and he was like, okay. And then the guy told her, like, oh, I threw that punch. And she's like, don't throw punches.
So she still looks like she's about 12, even though she's supposed to be like 19 by this, which I personally think they should have picked a different actress or something, or at least try to age her up a little bit more.
Well, she herself is 20. I guess she would have been 20 because they filmed this last year, 21.
So she's actually the age of Ellie, but she doesn't look it.
She's got a baby face. But she's got also the thing about Ellie in the game in the beginning is she's very sullen and like
she's very edgy and like she doesn't want to talk to anybody, and she's very in her teenage phase in the game. But in the show, she's so
obnoxious.
Being the same obnoxious 12-year-old that she was in the first one, so she didn't have any change at all. Which is strange.
Yeah, but maybe that'll change in the next episode.
I don't think I could handle
I think it's going to take us a couple episodes to get to the main event at the beginning.
You think so?
I think it's not going to happen next
I'm surprised
episode.
They didn't do the main event earlier on.
I thought it would have been at the end of this episode. We were all waiting for it.
But they had to go through a couple of things first.
Yeah.
So they're at a base in Wyoming.
It's cold. It's snowy.
It's cold. They have a weird scene about Joel being the foreman of the whole place.
Yeah, they're trying to build because they keep bringing people in. They don't have enough space for it. And so he worked in construction in his previous life. And so that was like 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
he's trying his best. He's trying to teach Dina, who is working under him, I guess. Who is important.
I miss the snowball scene.
I miss the snowball scene. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
She's working under Joel because she comes in and she asks like Joel, why aren't you talking to Ellie anymore? Why is Ellie mad?
Yeah, why is Ellie mad at you? Because he's trying to fix a fuse, and his hand hurts because he's old.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to be.
How old is Joel?
Yeah, because it's been 25 years.
I would say he's probably
since the beginning of the first game, which he
like
was probably a young dad. So he would have been in his
60s.
30s. So yeah, he'd be close to
Probably
60 or
close to
65.
60, yeah. But yeah, for some reason they made Dina his like apprentice to ask about Ellie, and then that's when we find out that he's seeing a therapist in town named Who Cares, and she was just added in because there later on there's a scene where
her name is Gail, and it's played by Catherine O'Hara, who has been in like everything. So
I'm so mad about this character, mainly because it's so unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
It's so unnecessary. So she was the wife of Eugene, who, if you've played Last of Us Part 2, Eugene is like a minor character who is like an old man that Dina used to go do runs with, and he died of old age because they keep talking about like, oh, I wish we could die of old age. That's really nice. And he used to tinker with stuff, and he had a secret weed den, which is might be a spoiler for the next episode. I don't know, but he died of old age, but in the show
they list him. So Eugene is listed as Joe Pantalino.
So we might be seeing a little bit of.
But this is for episode 1, and Joel has been in so many freaking things, but he was not in episode 1.
No.
So his part got cut because we find out that Joel.
We found that Joel killed him in a bad way. Not in a nice way.
In the previous year, because
according to his wife, the therapist, Joel's therapist, because there's a moment when she is like, "It's my birthday and I'm sad my husband died, so let's get drunk together. By the way, I hate you.
Yeah,
I hate you, and I hate you for killing my husband. Anyway, tell me your deep dark secrets."
So
I'm like, "Hello, Gail."
Yeah, so he
Excuse
goes
me?
to see her, and he knocks on the door, and she's like, "Do you want whiskey or tea?" And the tea's shit, so she just brings out the whiskey, and he can tell from the bottle that she's already had like 2 sips, because she definitely poured a bunch for him and for her, and then you look at the bottle. I was like, that would have been like a sip. And
what I hate also about this scene is that Joel talks about, he's like, I don't know why she hates me, I'm such a good person. And I was like, Joel would never say that.
Yeah.
For like the first half of The Last of Us, Joel was like, I'm a bad guy, Ellie.
I've done bad things.
I've done bad things. And he knows what he did, and he knows he's a bad guy.
And he would never
And he also knows why Ellie is mad at him.
Yeah.
He even brings it up in this episode, but in the game he never brings it up because everyone knows why Ellie's mad at him. She's so sure that he lied to her about what happened because he did.
Yeah.
And she knows it. So that's why she spends like a lot of the previous years running around trying to find out what actually happened, because she knows Joel's never going to tell her.
Yeah, so that was...
So him being like, I don't know why my surrogate daughter's mad at me.
She moved out to the garage. I was like, they live together? That also was not...
She lived in a garage, but not his garage.
They all have their own separate houses.
Yeah, but she did live in a garage. And it was like 1-for-1 in the show.
Yeah. Same
with the supermarket, which was pretty impressive.
The set design.
That design was amazing.
Pretty good.
I'm glad somebody paid attention to the game script.
And also they did the dance thing, which was the E3 trailer, and that was close.
Yeah, that was close. I would like to know, because there's 3 writers, who's responsible for which thing, you know?
Well, you have... don't remember...
Do you think they give Neil credit because he wrote the original script? Or...
I'm sure he's super involved. He seems like a guy that's super involved.
I do like in the behind the scenes of The Last of Us, he does bring up that he exploited Eugene, because he did. This character that's kind of minute to just create another character that sucks for no reason.
It's supposed to be character development, but it's not done very well, and it's because in the game you have the like recollection of them doing past events and all that stuff. And you don't have
I thought
that
they would
time
just
in the
spread
show.
that out throughout the show.
They should.
Because they spent too long on the hell some guy's name on the Offerman episode that didn't need to be spent, that everyone gave all the Emmys to.
Yeah.
And they spent, like, I thought each individual backstory that happens in the, because there's a lot of them, they would just do an episode on.
Yeah.
Because, like, why not? They love doing that shit.
From what I've
TV
heard
shows.
online is that
Hit the Emmys.
they're so the first season I felt like went way too fast. I know we're cutting into the year recap.
I'm assuming you've already seen it, actually.
But so the first season I felt like went too fast. I feel like they could have done that in 2 seasons. The second, they're, from what I've heard, they're capping this at 3 seasons.
I heard that too.
So,
but I heard that they're also finishing The Last of Us Part 2 in the second season.
In the second season, there is something, and you're not there yet in the game, so I won't talk about it. But there's some offshoots that I could see happening. But both the head writers on this say that they're not involved. So, and also the collection came out, which was Last of Us 1 and 2. And so everyone's been waiting for a third game. And so it was like Last of Us Complete or whatever. And so they think that there's not going to be a 3 because they have a new game coming out. So they
have a new IP that they're working on. So
everyone is always still waiting for Uncharted, but I feel like Uncharted was wrapped well.
Uncharted's dead.
They don't need to make another one.
And I think The Last
And
of
if you
Us
make it with his brother, I'm not playing it. And that's, again, a huge Uncharted fan. I'm not playing it. So don't do it, Druckmann.
Don't do it, Druckmann.
Don't do it. So Joel is at his therapist and she's drunk, but not really. And
doesn't seem like it.
It's not, that whole thing was not necessary.
No, it wasn't. Actually, they should have added more time for Abby than they did for his therapist. Because she's not important. Unless she is. They could make Gale real important and we just don't know.
I feel like what they should have done is they should have redone the last scenes where you're at the hospital, but you're there as Abby.
Yeah.
And you see the dad and the dad goes in to operate and then you're at the grave. Like, I felt like that would have been more impactful.
That would have been better.
But that did not happen, and
we're stuck with this. This is what we're stuck with.
So and that's the whole thing. She's kind of lit, and she's like, she says to Joel, "You're lying to me. You know what it is," and she's like, "I'm lying to you too. I hate you." She's like, "There, it's out in the universe." But that whole scene was way too long, and the reason why it was way too long is because of the actress that they hired, because they wanted to give her screen time to afford her a fee.
It seems like. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe she liked the first season, and she's popular. I've seen her before.
Well, I mean, she's Sally and Shock, and
maybe she would have been
Creek
like, "I want to be in this," and then they just.
I mean, she's a fantastic actress. There's nothing about her.
She's
in everything.
Great actress, terrible character.
But yeah,
it seems like it's shoehorned in character. Mm-hmm. It's terrible. I hate it. I hate it so much. So let's get away from the therapy scene.
And then we have Ellie and Tommy are shooting.
Which is a flashback scene that happens pretty late in the game.
Yeah.
So I was surprised it was happening right now. But this is when we really see Ellie be immature.
A brat. She's
and the worst. And I was like, oh, so she hasn't grown at all and hasn't changed from being 12, even though she's 19.
Well, they often
even in this scene, she was like, I'm an adult.
Yeah, so anytime you have trauma, you're often stunted at the age that you experience that trauma, and it's really hard to advance past from that.
That's what that guy Greg said or whatever.
It is a.
Is that the other writer's name, Greg?
Neil and Craig?
Craig. That's what Craig said behind the scenes.
And Hallie, you did not even get on the show. Sorry. So she's constantly trying to go out and hunt and like be aggressive. She has her tattoo, which you see when she's lining up the shot of the moth on her arm, which is also on the guitar. But she wants to go out, and there's going to be a New Year's Eve party, and Tommy's trying to get her involved in the community, and she's like,
he's also trying to protect her because Joel asks to.
Yeah.
Oh, Joel asked her to like not do patrols and to do like
because she's also reckless. She doesn't listen to anyone because she's immune. She like takes but then that puts other people in danger, which she will constantly do over and over again.
Yeah.
And so she throws a fit, and
because he's like, I want you on fence duty, and she's like, I'm an adult now, I'm better than that. And then eventually he caves, and he's like, wow, you and Joel are very similar. Which
they would have been if Joel didn't have a therapist, because they don't talk about their feelings and they just kind of do what they want. Is kind of what it is. But she talks about, well, I'm a perfect person for patrol because I'm immune, and he said we decided not to say that, and so she shouts it in the middle of nowhere.
She stomps her feet, cries, rolls around on the ground, you know.
So it's like, fine, you're on patrol.
And so when it has the opening scene to the game, where she, instead of waking up though, she was doing gun cleaning, to Dina, at her
Knocking at the
door
door.
instead of that other guy.
Jesse.
Jesse. Because in the game it was Jesse that was at the door and was like, hurry up for patrols. She's like, well, give me 2 minutes. This time it's Dina, and Dina comes in and
straps her up.
Helps her put her new strap on, and they reference the like movie that she was gonna watch with Joel at some point.
Yeah, Joel's favorite movie, which is mentioned
Clive and Viper or whatever, something like that. And that's also brought up in the game. And her garage is a 1-for-1, pretty much, which is pretty cool. But they go on patrol. Her horse is also named Shimmer, so we're keeping that the same. We're keeping that tight. We're that together. They go out and...
oh, she was an Alien Romulus. So Dina is played by Isabella Merced. How do you feel like she fits the character of Dina so far? I feel like
fine.
she's like super bubbly, which Dina kind of is, but Dina was playing with kids, and yeah, Dina has recently been in a bunch. She was in Madam Web, although I don't know anyone who's seen that, and she was in the Alien Romulus movie. That has nothing to do with the game that we played. That's why you don't see it on the AV Club. But
yeah.
I thought she's okay. Like, she doesn't really fit in because everyone's gloomy.
She's fine.
And she's
fine
bubbly,
for Dina.
but...
Like, when her and Ellie go out on patrol, and they go off on their own, because Dina, I think she does a good job, or they wrote Dina the exact same way, because to me, it seems like as Dina is trying to impress Ellie, because Dina wants to get in Ellie's pants real bad. She's trying to, like, do whatever Ellie wants to do, and so she'll go be reckless with her.
Yeah.
And
I thought Jesse was a good casting. I thought he did good. He's, like, exactly the same.
He's exactly the same. Exactly the same.
Yeah. And then so they come out for patrol, and they're on their 2 horses, and of course they're late. And then you have these 3 other people on patrol, and I think Kat was one of them. They don't even mention the other 2.
They don't mention the other 2.
But Ellie and Kat had a moment at some point because they're the only 2 lesbians in the entire community,
apparently.
And
that's what Dina brings up.
But Kat got a line, so good for her. She got paid extra.
Yep, she got a line.
They're told to go out their recon. If you see just a couple of them, you can take them out. But if you see more, then come back and we'll.
If you see anything strange, come back too. Yeah. So they do see something strange. They see a bunch of blood on the snow. So they were like, "Oh, we have to turn back," says Kat, and Ellie's of course like, "I'm gonna go check it out."
Yeah, we're recon. Why am I recon?
Because Dina wants to have sex with Ellie, she's like, "Yeah, let's follow Ellie." So they go ahead and they see a bear destroyed by a bunch. Like eaten it, and also a bunch of infected that are dead next to the bear.
Yeah, it looks like a bunch of clickers. But yeah, they are dead, and so no one's wondering like, hey, who killed all these people?
Yeah, the bear?
But Dina makes a joke that is stupid.
Something about the...
What do they call it? Bear's ribs.
It's barbecue.
Barbecue. And they laugh and they giggle.
I don't think it was a bear in the game. I think it was like a horse or something.
Or a deer or something.
Something like that. But they're right by the supermarket. And Ellie wants to go in and check out.
Well, she sees the blood, so she knows at least one of them scrambled back up inside. She's like, there's one in there, so let's go check it out. Kat and company show up.
And they're like, we have to report this. What are you guys doing? Are you guys happy now? And they're like, nope, we're not happy enough. There might be a family and a baby in there. We have to go save them. So Kat is like, okay, fine, do whatever you want. I can't stop you.
Yeah, she's like, I'll give you 5 minutes. There is a Bud Light bottle.
It could be product placement. It could be just...
If it's got the name on it, it's product placement.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I don't think that's the case, because can't they just do that anyway? As long as they're not defacing the brand.
Usually what it is they'll have an off-brand thing that looks really similar. And so, and there's a People magazine later, and I was like, that's definitely
I don't know, maybe. I've learned new things now. I thought it had to be product placement if I saw a distinct product. But turns out you can put stuff in your movies and TV shows.
Yeah, but this one they like zoomed in on it and it was really like particular to what they were using. So I'm like, that has to be.
But like Bud Light and People magazine is such a weird choice.
Yeah.
I feel like they just wanted to do that and then they asked them, can we put this in there? And then they were like, yeah, 100%. So anyway, they take out 2 clickers upstairs.
Did they take out 2 of them?
I thought they were both...
She said there was 2, and they both go around the side, but then we don't see Dina take out.
We don't see Dina take out.
But you do see Ellie... you see the Employee of the Month.
The puzzle solution, which was like... The safe code is the Employee of the Month for July, and you find out it was the dog.
Yeah.
So...
And then Ellie does her thing where she like... does she do that in the
Not in the second game.
In the first game where she like jumps them and stabs them.
She took them out like she did when she was like 12.
Yeah.
but she's 19 now.
Yeah.
So I was like, she hasn't changed at all.
No.
So yeah, she takes it out like a child and just stabs it a bunch in the neck while jumping on the back. And then Dina's like, good job. And Ellie's like, I have to show you the employee of the month for July. It's this dog. And then she falls through the floor into the supermarket, which is exactly like the supermarket from the game.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be anybody there, so they have to try to find a way out. So Dina's going to go
Dina's
around.
like, I'm not jumping down there.
Yeah, no, I don't blame her.
And then the door is bolted and locked with a deadbolt. And of course,
And we can't shoot him for some reason. I was so mad in the game. Every game we can shoot deadbolts, but this game
It's
they
the
were
whole point
like,
that the deadbolt's there. If it's not deadbolt, if it's just chains, then you know you can't open it. But the whole point of having the deadbolt is to shoot it.
this is, yeah, I know. It's so irritating. I shot so many deadbolts in that game, and I was like, oh, that's right. I'm playing a worse game. Silly me. Eventually, Ellie sees a thing in the corner of her eye. It's one of those stalker creatures.
Yeah, so you see it go, like, you can see behind her and you see it go behind her, and it's definitely crawling on all fours. She then sees it, and it's on the ground. You see it.
It does, someone had fun with the cinematography where they were like, what if we showed Ellie walking with her feet, and then we showed the feet of the monster? And what I was thinking was, the monster is walking on glass.
Yeah.
When I walk on glass in games, the enemies are alerted. But if they walk on glass, I can't hear shit.
Yeah. And so the feet are, like, sliced only once, and it's like, if they were walking around on all that stuff, their feet would have been torn up.
When I saw the dead bear prop with all the dead
with the guts
clickers
just
around it,
sitting
I
right
was
there.
kind of like, this is silly. This is good.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how you have to think about the game too sometimes. Where you're like, it's just kind of like that. That's just how it is. It's goofy.
It was a little goofy.
It's super goofy. So there's the stalkers is what we're going to learn about, because they don't attack you. They kind of just watch you.
Wait around corners until you get close enough.
Until you get close, or you kill one of the other stalkers, then they'll come and attack you. So
and they work together too if you have more than one.
Ellie sees it and she's like, come at me! Run at me, motherfucker!
And then it turns around and runs, and then she goes to follow it. And then it pulls like a Jurassic Park thing where it hides in like the bread bin like the girl did in the kitchen. Because she's walking past it, and all of a sudden you just see it slowly crawl out behind her,
and then it has
ew, it was so gross.
Nostril fungus comes out of its nose to smell, I guess, because it can see. Like these ones can see. They're not full clickers, but
they just have. It's almost like they had a crown.
They do. It's beautiful.
Fungus. So
the ideal clicker, really. You can still run around, and you get a beautiful crown. You can see still. Out of all the zombies, probably the best one.
Yeah, because the first stage, you're just like crazy, and you just want to like tear people's faces off.
Yeah.
And they're, I guess, in between.
I guess so. So she jumps on Ellie, and Ellie has to fight it off. But
she bites her tummy.
Straight up bites her tummy. But, like, only one bite.
Yeah.
It seemed like she was digging in there.
Yeah, it did, definitely.
For a long time. But it was only one bite. And
she shoots it.
Dina comes in from who fucking knows where. And
I don't even. That was weird.
I don't know how they
Dina
even
doesn't
escaped.
shoot it. Ellie shot it.
Oh, I thought Dina shot it.
No, because
Dina shows up right after.
But Ellie shoots it, and then she gets it off of her, and she looks at her stomach, and she sees the bite, and then she covers her stomach so that Dina doesn't see it. But you also see a little fungus next to her stomach.
A little bit of fungus coming out of it.
I was like, oh.
It's smelling around.
Yeah. So she has like literally a straight bite.
A very obvious
no tears or anything like that, but that lady was moving her head.
Which was really stupid. Are they going to use that bite later on because they had a weird scene when they go back where they were like, there's fungus in their pipes.
So that's just so, because that's a reference to, what's her name? Tess? When Tess disturbs the fungus and they come after her because they know your location.
Yeah. So, do you think that's the case?
That it's on her, like in her?
Yeah.
I don't know if it didn't go into the bite. It was just on it, but it was a weird.
Because there's a scene when she gets back that she decides to cut the bite open and then sew it back together.
Yeah, so I think that's more so it looks like a scar, not a bite. Because
gross and
she has
unnecessary.
she has the tattoo that's hiding the bite on her arm. And then Dina and Ellie are sitting in front of the council where she names them the stalkers. They know Dina's like, oh yeah, that's exactly how that happened.
Intelligent. The council was basically like, apologize to Kat for being douchebags, and then go and report it to.
Yeah, write the report, and then it's New Year's Eve, guys. We're having a party.
We're having a party, and I know that Dina asked if they were gonna go to the party or not.
Yeah.
And
well, that was before when they're on the horses. She's like, "Oh, you're taking someone to the party," or she's like, "Oh, are you going to the party?" And Ellie's like, "Yeah, I guess." And she's like, "Are you taking someone?" She's like, "No."
Why not, Kat? You were dating, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, and then that's where you find out that Jesse and Dina are off and on again. Several times.
All the time. She does eventually get convinced by Joel, who comes in while she's doing stuff, and she's
writing in the journal that I think she has in the game.
She does. There's also actual journal entries on her wall of that she doodled in the game, which is funny. And so she's doodling like the joke that Dina made, and then don't fuck it up, don't fuck it up, don't fuck it up. Yeah. Joel comes in and is like, "You go and do that thing?" She's like, "No." And then he looks at her guitar and he's like, "You been playing guitar?" And she's like, "Sometimes." And he's like, "These strings suck. I have to fix them. Goodbye."
And he like takes her guitar. "You'll get it back tomorrow."
He's so weird. Still weird guy.
He just doesn't know how to handle her.
He doesn't know how to handle anybody. She eventually goes and runs into, I cannot remember this guy's name. Jesse.
They're at the bar, and she tells Jesse she had to be half drunk to be there.
Have to be here.
And Dina comes up and drinks Jesse's drink, and then goes to dance with.
I cannot believe, because at the beginning of the game, they don't show this scene.
Yeah.
They just like talk about it. They're like, "Crazy New Year's last night, guys. Remember when we kissed and we were called a slur, and then we have to go talk to Seth, who was mean, and then we go on patrol and." We have to be like, "Sorry, I kissed your girlfriend, Jesse," and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
so they kiss, and the guy's like, "This is a family event," and calls him the slur, which we don't need to repeat. But.
Yeah. So, and then Joel pushes him, and then Ellie's like, "Why'd you push him? I can take care of myself."
Yeah, she's like, "Don't help me. I don't need your help."
Yeah, so she runs away. Joel goes and sulks on his porch.
With her guitar.
And a heater, which is a waste. Heater. It's snowing. He's basically there to, like, wait for her to come home. And then they have like an intense staring contest where they both look like they're about to cry. And then, the little guitar plays.
Joel definitely cried at his therapist too, because she's like, the therapist is like, she's a 19-year-old acting like every single 19-year-old. She's like, "Why? You know why she hates you." And that's why he's like, "I saved her."
He does know why, but it's not for the reason that therapist thinks. Also, she needs to step back.
Yeah, she's being... Oh, and he paid her with weed, too, which was weird, considering that her husband was the one with the...
Where'd Joel get that?
Well, she said something about Eugene had the supply.
But that was a secret.
Yeah.
Because in the game, they find his stash, and they're like, so that's why he had it all the time, and he kept it a secret, because they couldn't tell... the lady in charge of the place, because she would ban it. At the end of it, we end up seeing
it's the pipe. Abby. Before Abby, there's the pipe that they were... So there's all of these roots in a pipe, and then the roots start to move, so you know that the fungus is there, so it's like they know where they are. Because they're getting more and more zombie people coming towards them, so it's like... But why would you send them there if you know that... Like it's for food source? I don't know. That was right. And then you do see Abby
in her squad looking at the town that they're at. And that's how that episode ends, which is surprising.
It was very uneventful.
Yeah, nothing really happened.
Yeah.
They really tried to milk that grocery store scene, but
the stalker was the coolest part of it. Everything else, Ellie was insufferable.
Yeah, Joel. I'm not looking forward to Ellie.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to what happens to Joel.
Which someone online made a joke of, like, because the premiere day is the same day as the Masters, which is the golf, which there's a golf incident in the game. So we'll see.
We'll see how this goes.
It's
going to be different.
It is different already.
And I was thinking about this because I didn't play the game right before watching the first season. So I kind of went into it with very little knowledge. But I immediately went from playing the game to watching the TV show. So I was like, I'm going to be insufferable.
Yeah, you're in it right now. And it's been... When did that game come out?
It just came out on PC. Yeah. So that's why I'm playing it.
And I will not be replaying it. So.
And, so...
Which, so far, remembering, do you like Last of Us 2 game or Last of Us 1 game better?
Last of Us 2 is, I think, better.
You like better?
Although both are very boring.
Yeah.
They're really fun.
Hospice 2 is a lot longer.
Urbex exploring simulations.
Mhm.
It's fun to invade people's houses and steal their bottles of rubbing alcohol and tissues. I enjoy that very much.
We'll maybe see you for...
Well, you're still down?
I'll watch the next one.
All right. We'll see you next time then.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.